this in Teams because this is, I'm going to switch this. I'm just going to switch this to my computer. We don't need the rest of this.
Oh, God.
All right. All set.
All righty. How about we, all right, what is today? The 21st. All right, let's call to order this meeting for the HDC tonight, February 21st. In attendance, we have, hold on. Oh boy, I don't know whose phone number that is. So we have
Janice.
Janice Muldoon Moore's probably.
Yep.
Okay. Janice. Okay. We have Jane Lowell, Dan Byer, and myself, Deborah Flanagan. Don't mind me as I'm reading this. Well, I certainly don't have those. Let's talk about the expansion of the historic district. And where we're at with that. And in addition, whether or not we want to push off our timelines a little bit on that. So Dan and Jane, you've both been working diligently to get information together with some other members of the Historic Commission. Where are you at with that?
Well, we have the Amy DeWitt from the Society,
Mm-hmm.
Ruth O'Grady from the Commission,
Mm-hmm.
Myself, and Ruth Casanelli from the Society worked on doing the history of the houses on Washington Street. And we completed them and sent them to Dan.
Awesome. And then, Dan, you're in the process of compiling all of that data.
We do need to take photographs of the houses, all of them, and
all of the houses.
before 231 Washington Street.
Yep. So I have everything, and I'm going to take the report and basically redo it for this new proposal. There's a lot of BS, to put it lightly, that the state, there's a very specific format. They want things done in a certain way. There's like sections, so I've got it all pulled together. I just, with the timing involved, I think it's a mistake to really try and burn ourselves out trying to get this done in time for the town meeting, because it's just, I think it's 60 days. We have to send it to the state 60 days prior to the public hearing. And the absolute last date is March 7th in time for the town meeting. Even earlier, if we assume we want to hold that meeting probably a week before the town meeting. I just don't think it allows enough time to finalize the document.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think it makes sense to just hold off and make sure we do it right. That way we don't have any pushback.
And I guess we'll see what the commission says.
Okay.
I would argue in favor of knocking out North Ave at the same time, unless there's some
I think ultimately everyone was definitely in agreement with wanting North Ave to be part of the expansion to the district. It was just a matter of maybe, I think at the time we were talking about doing it in pieces, but I think it does make the most sense to just try and get it done, do it all together, and then leave it at that. So
I think the state would prefer that too.
Yeah. Good point. So Dan, the commission is right after this meeting, right?
Correct.
So would you be open to just chatting with them about it and seeing if they're fine with just holding off, and then finishing up what you have now for Washington Street, right? Hopefully that whole portion can be done by the 21st, and then maybe we'll begin work on compiling data for the properties or land on North Avenue. And
Yeah,
then,
I'll let
yep,
them know.
okay.
I mean, I think there's a lot. I mean, Kathy's buried in the records room grant. We've got the redo of demo delay. I think we're finally ready on that, hopefully.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I mean, I don't see how the proposal that was for that property is going forwards anytime soon in terms of the development, which is, the district is about the development and the future of that property. So that's, I think we have some time in terms of that.
Well, there's a problem with wetlands there, definitely. So I don't know how that's coming along, but that's all wet. Where this
I think,
proposed development is going to go.
I guess we haven't had to have the discussion yet. I don't know to what extent. I mean, I think district has more power in terms of stopping a demolition, but it's really about what are you going to rebuild with? Like, I don't think we can just say, no, you can't tear it down, goodbye. I think there's got to be a little more to it than that. We should probably learn more about that.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I don't think, Dan, let's just leave it at that. Let us know what the commission says, okay? And then we'll kind of take it from there. And then as for projects, we don't have any, there were no permits submitted to the town and the district, correct?
No, nothing new.
Okay. Alrighty, that wraps that up. And then let's see, discussing possible updates to the design guidelines. Is that something that, when would we need to have any updates submitted to the town by? Is that something we
So
need to do?
I put that, so Brett emailed me because he had some suggestions about lighting.
Okay.
And I basically said, I sent him the draft and said, have at it.
Okay.
I'd like to just revise our guidelines and clarify like the application. Now that we've done it, clean up the application process.
I
And
think
we
we
probably
wanted
need to put in stuff about solar.
solar, yeah.
And I'm thinking there's probably it's a good time to just take a look through everything.
Okay.
For that, we just have to hold our own hearing. So we could probably work on a draft and maybe target a hearing, maybe not even until the fall.
Okay.
But
No,
it
I
just
think
might be.
and I'd be interested to see what he has to say regarding the lighting. Does Brett's receiving the emails and he's fully aware that we're having our district meetings, correct?
He asked, I've been sending his Gmail. He asked for clarification on the location of this one. I mean, I'm
Okay.
assuming he's just busy. I mean, we should
Yeah.
probably, Bucky too. We haven't heard from him in a while if he's still interested. Or if he's got it,
Okay. And then, that's fine. So what was that? Janice, did you say something?
Me, no.
Oh, okay. And then, I think that so regarding the solar and the lighting and any other changes we're gonna make to that, so you're saying that you would want to push for that to take place in the fall if we did a hearing? But
Yeah,
then,
let me just double check. I think it's just 14 days notice. I would say, maybe if other people have suggestions, if stuff comes up in terms of Washington Street,
yeah,
I still haven't figured this out. I think there's a change we have to make to the bylaw about solar, but we should at least come up with some general guidance about, rooftop versus ground mounted versus facing away from the street, blah, blah, blah.
so maybe
don't
we
know.
just put together a paragraph regarding solar almost in the same way that we did regarding everything else within those guidelines. And maybe it's something similar to another local district. I don't know. I didn't see anything regarding solar in the other districts. Did you? Other local towns?
I think they tend to regulate it more than not. I think we're somewhat of an outlier by saying
Okay.
we're kind of
letting
stepping back on that.
it. Okay.
Um,
Well, I think initially the discussion was that it would be incredibly difficult to say one way or the other, whether or not someone could or could not put those panels up or down or wherever, because the state has their own set of guidelines as well, especially with the whole energy incentives. So it's gonna be difficult. I don't know if we need an attorney to look over whatever we put in, or what your thoughts are there.
I mean, my thoughts are we're basically saying, we're not gonna shut down rooftop, but we prefer it to be as, unobtrusive as possible, facing outside the district. But, I think ground mounted is a different ballgame, and I think we should specify that that's something that
I agree.
would need to be done,
Never issue.
totally out of view.
Yeah.
I agree. And the thing even about the roof, excuse me, roof mounted ones is they can be removed and it's not going to affect the look of the house. It's
Uh,
I think maybe that's I'm in agreement with you. I just didn't know if the state would override state regulations regarding solar would override anything we had to say. I guess maybe I misinterpreted everything that we had.
It seems to say that your restrictions on solar have to be reasonable, like they have to serve the public good. You can't just say, I don't like solar, it's ugly.
Right.
You have to have a legitimate, it's just, it hurts the district, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I gather the opinion of this, it seems like there isn't a strong appetite to really, regulate it at all. I mean, to me, it allows the homeowner to generate some revenue that perhaps lets them stay in that house versus seeing the house demolished.
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah, I know. We'll let's work towards putting something together for that, and then as for the lighting, we'll kind of see what Brett has to say, whatever his feedback is there. Maybe we'll put together an email, a big group email, and then if people have input, we can kind of start trying to draft ideas for that, and then let everybody kind of have at it.
yeah, it seemed like he had some, as an architect, I think he has some good perspective, which is helpful.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I don't think he was involved when we first wrote these.
No, he wasn't. Yeah. We had was it JP? He was an architect.
Yeah.
mhm.
His name. So then, all right, so that's that. Anything else that you would like to discuss in regards to the district?
Well, the only thing I was going to say is there are 4 of us that were doing the research on the houses on Washington Street. And
Yeah.
part of the reason that the society was involved is because we are going to be publishing a book about the historic homes. So we thought, why duplicate the work?
Mhm.
And we are also focusing on the people that lived in those houses as well. So, I mean, we could just start and continue up North Avenue if you want us to do that, because it will be in the book. We're going to start with the center district, and then we're going to go off on probably North Avenue next. And
Well, I think that'd be wonderful if you were already doing it, then absolutely.
I forget what meeting we talked about it. I think it was commission because I think Tom was there. I think in terms of North Ave, it's basically the entirety of North Ave
yeah,
from the center to the Upton line. There's historic homes throughout.
Yeah, that was at the commission meeting. We were talking
Okay.
about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're flying down the street, so so yeah, that would be very interesting. as well. I'm sure that's going to be a great book. Yeah, I guess I don't really have too much else to say, especially if we don't have any pending permits or projects to discuss. So we could wrap this up, or if anybody else has anything to say. I know you have another meeting to jump on within the next half hour for the commission. So anybody else?
I'm good, hopefully, yeah. Well, we should confirm, so the next meeting date would again be the third Monday, so that March 21st at
2, 3.
6 p.m.
Spring.
That is the first day of spring, right? Or no?
Supposed to be. I don't know. I've heard the 20th too, so.
I think it's the 21st. All right, so March 21st, 6 p.m. So per our usual, our meetings are held the third Monday of every month at 6 p.m. We're sticking to that, just to keep it simple. And that way people don't have to guess as to when the meeting is.
And I guess barring any whatever, now that I know that this works, we can do hybrid, and hopefully the audio will be much better in terms of Janice being able to hear us.
It is much better. You did a good job.
Well, this is just my computer. I'm cheating, but before, if you could hear me, I can flip it back maybe and see if you can still hear me. Hang on. All right, how about now? Can you hear me, Janice?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so that should work then.
Yeah, that's great. Let's try and do a hybrid meeting on March 21st. I'll be in the at the town hall then, Dan. Do we have to reserve that room, or we pretty much have that space because it's
So I think I booked 6 months out just as a placeholder. Let me just check.
okay?
We just need to post the meeting. Yeah. I would say we're running into this historic. We probably should post it a week out just to avoid any potential issues.
What's that? We should. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Like at least a week before. I would have everything to Ellen by the 14th.
Oh, okay.
Just to avoid any confusion or things getting missed or
All right.
And then we'll just have to keep re-upping the thing. But town-wide, it seems to be working. Planning board's the second and fourth. We're the third. Master plan's the first.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Awesome. All righty. Well, I guess we will bring this meeting to a close at 6:35.
Hey.
What's that? Everybody.